Lagos Talks
91.3.
News.
President Muhammad Buhari has on Tuesday inaugurated the new office of the National Security Advisor, the ONSA, and National Counterterrorism Center, two state-of-the-art facilities to optimize efforts and provide the incoming administration with infrastructure at addressing evolving security challenges in the country, especially terrorism and violent extremism. Speaking at the inauguration, the president also used the occasion to outline significant milestones achieved by his administration on national security, including gains in combating terrorism, banditry, piracy, as well as militancy. According to the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, retired, the facilities would further enhance Nigeria's already recognized contribution to global counterterrorism policy and practice efforts. The Senate says it has constituted a committee to probe why the president did not assent to 19 out of the 35 constitution review bills transmitted by the National Assembly. The Senate President Ahmad Lawan, in his remarks upon resumption of plenary yesterday, said the upper chamber will engage with the presidency to understand why. He, however, commended the president for assenting to 16 amendment bills, particularly the bills to guarantee the independence of state legislatures and judiciary.
For the 19 bills that Mr. President did not sign, did not assent to, I believe that there is need for us to do further engagement between the National Assembly and the executive arm of government. We already have our Constitution Review Committee to engage the executive arm of government. Let's go through the items, those bills that have not been assented to. What are the issues? Are those issues that we can deal with immediately? Because we are putting a lot of resources, a lot of time to produce those bills. And I believe that maybe there are a few explanations that could be made and then they will be okay. And we will do that almost immediately because time is of essence.
President Buhari has in the meantime written to the Senate seeking confirmation of new members of the board of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. The Chief Whip of the 9th National Assembly, Senator Oji Uzor Kalu, says it is his turn to occupy the preferred position of the number 4 man in the country. He stated this while addressing the press yesterday, insisting that he is the most qualified senator by ranking to lead the 10th Assembly, and appealed to the ruling APC to zone the coveted position to the southeast.
Yes, I'm ready to run for Senate President if the party zone it to my zone, because the party is supreme. Whether they want to zone it, they should zone it to my village, so nobody will contest it against me. I don't even want them to zone it to the south. The party should zone it to Ibere in my ward, because I'm the only senator from. So I would like the party to zone it to me with my name. If they can do that, it will be very good, because President Tinubu needs people of high character to turn around this economy, to make sure that we work for the masses and make laws that will enable him to turn around the economy. If we practice true democracy, I should not be in contest with anybody in this position.
Senator Uzor Kalu, who acknowledged that no democracy is perfect, stressed the need to amend the 1999 Constitution to make room for electronic voting.
President Tinubu, I want to assure you, will stand firm in giving good governance. One, he will also stand firm with this 10th Assembly to amend the Constitution. He will have the courage to amend the Constitution. What I would like to see with my colleagues is for us to go for electronic voting, so that where people like in India, it might not be automatic by electricity, it might be manual. You just punch the button, so nobody is doing anything with paperwork or this and that. That will be a thing of history. We would like to insert it in the electoral law that people can vote by just punching any political party you need, but it might be manual, it might not be electronically done. For me, no election is perfect. We must do everything within human rights to make sure that we address the issue of economy, we address the issue of electoral processes.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has assured that the Parliament will pass the Electoral Offences Commission Bill before the end of the 9th Assembly, to address the lack of prosecution of electoral offenders. But Biamila, yesterday at resumption of plenary, noted that there were reported incidents of thuggery, voter intimidation and suppression.
This process of ongoing reform and continuous improvement must continue. As a necessary first step, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, should collaborate with stakeholders to conduct a meticulous assessment of the election process. This is necessary to inform further reforms and improvements. The Electoral Offences Act is one area where we must take action before the culmination of the 9th House of Representatives. The Act is necessary to ensure effective enforcement against individuals and organizations whose violations of our electoral laws undermine our constitution and threaten our democracy. A system of vigorous prosecution and punishment of electoral offenders will serve as a deterrent to others in the future and help build confidence in our elections.
The Lagos State Police Command says it arrested 19 persons during last Saturday's gubernatorial and State House of Assembly elections in the state for alleged electoral offences. Spokesperson for the command, SP Benjamin Hunde, said those arrested involved in 21 cases, which included attacks on INEC officials, vandalism and ballot box snatching. Parading the suspects at the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department SCIID Banti, Hunde said 6 of the suspects will be prosecuted for alleged electoral offences, 4 of which will be transferred to the force headquarters Abuja to be prosecuted by the INEC, while 2 allegedly involved in violence at Abulado in Amuodofi area would be prosecuted by the police. Also paraded were 3 suspected kidnappers who confessed to having allegedly collected about 20.7 million naira ransom from victims, and other suspects arrested while trying to sell off a stolen truck. The INEC has debunked a report accusing its chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, of attempts to distort the governorship election results in Abia State. A blog had quoted the returning officer for Abia, Nena Uti, as alleging that she was being forced to do the wrong thing. Responding to the chief press secretary to the INEC chairman, Rotimi Uyekomi, in a statement, she said only communication sent to the state returning officer was the commission's directive suspending further collation of results. He stated that the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, never called the returning officer to give her a directive. Rather, the returning officer wanted the official communication on the commission's decision to suspend the collation of results in Abia State. The Labour Party and its candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, have formally filed a petition at the Election Petitions Tribunal in Abuja, challenging the declaration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC as winner of the February 25 presidential election. Spokesperson for Obi's presidential campaign told newsmen that the petition argues that Tinubu should not have been eligible to run for the top office. They also argued that the election was invalid by reason of corrupt practices and non-compliance with the provision of the Electoral Act 2022. Similarly, the Action Alliance and the Allied People's Movement have equally lodged separate petitions to challenge the outcome of the presidential election. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, was expected to file his own petition by the deadline of midnight. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has expressed satisfaction with the progress of work on the Redline rail project and vehicular bridge overpass at the Yaba station on the stretch of Abutameta to Agbado. While on inspection tour on Tuesday, the governor had noted that when completed, the unfortunate train accident, which had claimed lives at the PWD rail crossing in Ikeja, could be averted, considering the design of the ongoing modern Redline project.
With the train station, we believe we are about 75 to 80% completion, and the bridge it's about 95%, but the adjoining road around Yaba still needs to be cleaned up. So in total, we think it's about 85 to 90% there, and we're satisfied with the level of work. both by Step Construction and Messrs. Greenberg, who are doing the bridge there.
Senegal's President Macky Sall has rejected claims it will be unconstitutional for him to seek a controversial third mandate. Sall's comments in an interview with the French magazine L'Express are likely to fuel an already tense political climate in Senegal. The constitution in Senegal was amended in 2016 to shorten the presidential term from 7 to 5 years, with no one to serve more than 2 consecutive terms, which the opposition says clearly prevents Sall from running in next year's elections. The CBN says the Nigerian economy has maintained a positive growth trajectory for 9 consecutive quarters since exiting recession in 2020. The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele on Tuesday in Abuja, when he read the communique issued at the end of the 290th meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Apex Bank, says the improved performance of the economy has been driven largely by sustained growth in the services and agricultural sectors. Meanwhile, the Monetary Policy Committee has voted to increase the benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points to 18%. The committee also pegged the liquidity ratio at 30%. Morocco has announced a joint bid with Spain and Portugal to host the 2030 Men's World Cup. Jakib Ben Moussa, Morocco's sports minister, expressed confidence in the bid, stating that the 3 nations have close ties and have invested significantly in developing football infrastructure. The Transcontinental bid is the first in World Cup history and replaces Ukraine, who pulled out due to the ongoing war with Russia. The joint bid will compete against other nations in a vote in next year's FIFA Congress. The 2030 World Cup host will be decided by FIFA's member associations at next year's Congress in Osaka, Japan. And that's the news this morning.